dance, Amanda? Boop, 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 boop. This is how we enter the podcast, man. This is how we do it. Welcome to the Unhinged Hygienist.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, shall I start? Because today is a big day. We officially have our first guest on the Unhinged Hygienists.
We made it.
Not only did we get a guest, we have the guest.
The guest.
Aww.
Yeah, this is pretty
I was
amazing.
telling everyone, I'm like, Amanda Hale. She's gonna be on our podcast.
They probably all thought you meant Amanda Hill, not Hale, because that happens a lot.
No, they knew. Oh, they knew.
Yeah.
They were like, oh my God, the curvy scaler? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Girl. Yes.
She wants to get unhinged with us, I said, because
Totally. Yeah. So, you came in here. So I don't
did.
know. I think this makes us feel like we've arrived because this is pretty spectacular. And how do we go up from here?
I don't know.
There's plenty to go up. There's plenty. I promise you. I am far from the pinnacle.
I think you're going to wind up really liking being on the Hygienist, Unhinged Hygienist, and you're going to want to be like a recurring character. So
I'm good with that.
And we would love that. Yeah.
that's good. See? I like it.
Because we're,
But-
unfiltered, unpolished, just say what we feel.
That's true. So there are no rules on this podcast. And, we sometimes have a potty mouth and we sometimes talk about funny things. Like on our last episode, we talked about cooties in the mouth and where they go when you make out with a yuck mouth. So remember.
Do you ever clean someone's teeth and they have so much, and the whole time I'm just like, are you married? Do you have a girlfriend? Do you kiss her? Where does this mouth go? Because I'm really disturbed.
I often wonder if these people actually have contact with other human beings during the day. I'm like, do you talk to people? Do you smell you? Do you only work with animals? I don't know. This is what happens. And I'm like, if I can smell you through smelly chapstick and a mask and my diffuser that has eucalyptus and lemon in it, you're stanky.
And I have the oil that I put in my mask sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes
Those are rough ones.
Yeah, it's true. All right. So back to our guest. Okay. So today we are talking to the amazing Amanda Hale, who has many, many, many titles: hygienist, educator, biological dentistry advocate, functional medicine health coach, podcast host, and apparently someone who decided that sleep wasn't necessary. Right? I know.
Yet I was voted most likely to sleep through life 2 years in a row in high school.
What fabulous irony.
I know. Well, I have the yearbooks to prove them.
That's hilarious.
And here I was going to say you're running on passion, purpose, and no sleep. But
I prioritize sleep.
As you should, see,
Yeah.
because there is
have
nothing without a good basis of sleep.
No,
That's the
it's
truth.
true.
So,
And that's something I am working on for myself because I have a problem.
No, sleep is foundation. If you're
That's
not
true.
restoring, you can't talk the talk unless you walk the walk, right? And biological hygiene, just in hygiene in general, right? If you're not brushing, flossing, taking good care of your mouth, how can you be advocating and educating your patients if you're not doing it? So
Truth.
biological, functional, we're looking at whole body systems, right? And if you're not supporting your mitochondria, if you're not supporting all of your body systems with a good night's rest, you can't do anything.
no.
You can't heal, you can't grow, you can't do anything. So, yeah, sleep is critical.
Sleep is good. How did
Sleep
we
and
wind up?
hydration.
See, well, how did we wind up deleting the fact that sleep was important? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. Bravado people were like, you'll sleep when you're dead. I don't need to sleep.
Is that
Okay,
something
maybe.
to be proud of? It's kind of like when
It
people
used to
were,
be.
yeah.
And we've normalized it. It's normal.
Like it's
when
a flex.
When I worked in New York, these patients were working 60 hours a week, commuting 2 hours each way. They were exhausted, and they're like, "This is normal." I'm like, "This is not normal.
No.
It's not sustainable long term. This is not healthy."
No, it's certainly not good.
If I don't sleep enough, I get sick. I will get ill.
Yeah.
First
will.
episode we busted out 8 hours. I was sick the next day. I said, "I'm done."
It was true. It was overwhelming. And see, I
was
think
overwhelmed.
that's rest. And maybe that's, we've gotten through the youthful phase of our life where we feel like
I don't
there's
know what you're
that.
talking about.
Now
Youthful
we're
phase.
smarter and wiser. See, I was going to say dumb and young. That was not old. No.
So let me
When
ask
we-
you guys, your partners, because I like sleeping in dark, quiet spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll do like meditation or yoga nidra if I need to sleep. Chris likes the TV on, and it's a 60-inch TV in the bedroom.
No.
And he lowers it and he'll read the subtitles, but the lights.
Uh-huh.
So I bought this mask today. Like I'm talking, it's like goggles for your eyes. I'm going to take a picture. And I bought earplugs and I made sure I could hear my alarm clock. So I'm going to test it out. I'm not working tomorrow, so I'm going to just set an alarm just to see because I'm worried that I might not wake up. But I need to, like, I can't do that. Some people need that stimulation. I can't.
I feel like needing those things is a very real sign that your nervous system is overactive and that you're not able to get into that rest. So my husband and I like a dark room. He likes some noise. So when we got married, we've only been married 6 years. So when we got married, he always had to have a fan on. And I didn't necessarily always have some sort of background noise. So I had to get used to that. And then I want the dark, and he used to sleep with the light on. So we had to get used to each other's sleep habits. And now, anytime we travel somewhere, like I have washi tape that I take with us to prep a hotel room to maximize the dark space. So any like microwave lights, the smoke detector that flickers every so often, like that inconsistent light. Yeah. It is rough.
Yeah.
That's smart of you to be prepared like that.
Well, I travel enough. I have gone through enough rough ones. So you guys, we FaceTimed this weekend at the cabin for our little getaway for my birthday. It was so bright. Oh my gosh. It was so, like, there was not street light, but it was a condo that we stayed at a ski resort. And there was like lights all along the path. And the windows had curtains in the window. So they didn't go up above the window. They were in the window. And they let in so much light from those street lights. It was rough.
You didn't have enough tape to cover that space.
There was not enough washi tape in Utah.
You have to hang in Utah, in the whole state.
The whole
not
state,
enough.
And this is a crafty state, but no.
It's a crafty state. This is when you have to employ like towels and sheets and thumbtacks.
What am I supposed to do? We have a vaulted ceiling with skylights.
We sleep in the basement.
Yeah, it's
basement.
And Chris will sleep through, like, okay. I'm a light sleeper. There was a tornado. All the sirens went off. Outside, inside. I'm like, where did I move to, first off? Yeah. So I look outside. I'm half sleeping. I don't even see outside. It's all over the place. Apparently it hit like 10 minutes away. I'm like, Chris, wake up. There's a tornado and we're going to die. And he mumbled something and went back to bed. And I was like, well.
Guess I'll die by myself.
I hope that was the end.
He will sleep through anything and I'm up.
I am the world's best sleeper. I always joke that that's my only talent. Maybe that's why I wanted to go into airway and sleep and all that other fun stuff to help people don't you want to be more like me? Hello, duh. So my example, like your tornado, was a cruise. My mother and my grandmother and I were on a cruise sharing a room. And I remember waking up and the boat was really rocking. We were doing a cruise from Boston up around like Maine and kind of down into Canada. So we were in a nor'easter in September. So there was water hitting our windows. My grandmother is over in the corner singing Rockabye Baby. And my mom is in her corner doing the Lord's Prayer. And I was like, okay, I took 2 Dramamines and I thought, all right, if I wake up somewhere else, I know what happened. And I went back to sleep.
Sam.
Well,
and I literally...
I just covered by your mom and your grandma. So
exactly. Everybody was good. So
God.
Tassia, do you want to read all of Amanda's accolades? She has a title and a half. I like it.
There's a
Did you
what? She's an HIAOMT, right?
That's a lot.
Accredited. Over 18 years of clinical experience, she contributes to the RDH Mag and Dentistry IQ. She hosts Functional Roots, which I was listening today on my drive to work.
Uh-huh.
And the tuning
Support the channel.
Please do. Like and subscribe.
And somehow, how did this start, Amanda? Was it like free scrubs?
Yeah, literally. Free scrubs. And now I'm starting my MBA in the fall.
Wow. Tell me more.
Yeah.
Where do you find the time? See, this is amazing.
I don't have kids. That's the reality. And I'm not saying that as a flex. That's just where life is for us. But truly, I have an incredibly supportive husband and a flexible work schedule. So, Yeah, I don't know. I could drop off the face of the earth, start the fall when I'm like neck deep in MBA stuff, but yeah.
It's
So I'll
amazing when you
start
have
at the
someone
University
supporting
of
you.
Utah.
That's amazing. Yeah.
100%.
It's such a
Absolutely.
big, because I feel like I've been wanting to do this for so long, but I was never in the space where I was able to do it.
Yes.
What made you want to pursue your MBA?
You know, the MBA people asked me that multiple times.
You should have an answer ready by now. Come on.
I do. No, I do. So I remember when I was getting ready to graduate hygiene school back in 2008, and I was already thinking, what's next? But I thought about doing dentistry, going on to dental school, but like the thought of that much debt really freaked me out. And so I was like, I don't think I want to be a practice owner. That really kind of freaked me out. But I wanted to do a master's degree, but master's in dental hygiene just didn't make sense to me because I didn't want to go into dental hygiene schools and educate. That really wasn't quite my passion. I didn't know that at the time. I definitely did not know my passion when I graduated. I didn't know what being a hygienist really meant. I had no experience. I needed a good 15 years under my belt before I could really start saying, hey, this is my passion. I moved to Utah 6 years ago, COVID and marriage, and I started working for a DSO. And I had always worked a traditional doctor-owner situation. I somehow managed to really only work at cosmetic offices, which is odd from the state of New Mexico. But that was really where I had worked. And so moving up to Utah, I worked for a DSO. I kind of went into it little nervous about what is that corporate world going to look like coming from that very intimate doctor owner situation. Pros and cons with both.
Yeah.
I've been fired from 2 jobs. Both doctors and wives were involved in the practice management. Around that time, when I started working for my DSO, is when I met Joffrey with Hygiene Elevated. That's when I had started my free scrub account that I was hoping to get, the Curvy Scaler. And she decided, hey, I need a content creator. And I was like, I sort of know what that is. I took a class on that at Pinner's conference. And we just kind of started fumbling through figuring stuff out. We went to RDH Evolution. I still didn't know what my passion was. Joffrey really loved her kind of core was helping practices grow. And doing practice evaluations. And I could tell you I did not have a passion for growing businesses and looking at reports. That wasn't what I was really loving. I remember at RDH Evolution, that first one that we went to, Lainey Macbeth stood up and kind of talked about her passion of holistic dentistry. And I was like, yes, that's more what I'm interested in. And then I started learning about the IAOMT and Guru Nanda. And shortly after that first RDH Under One Roof Evolution combo, I was part of the RCC program. And Jackie Sanders reached out and said, if there are any brands that you're interested in partnering with, please list them and we'll see if they want to do any partnerships. And Guru Nanda was one of them. So I know I'm giving you a very long answer to how I got to the MBA, but this is reality.
This is good, though.
It was not a straight line.
No.
So I started writing articles for Guru Nanda and learning about their products and the oil pulling space and honestly more holistic dentistry side of things. And then I started working conferences for them and getting to network and see all the other companies that are out there as well. Shortly after that, I started working with Risewell. And then getting more doing lunch and learns and gosh, just getting to do a lot of educating and getting on that side of dentistry of not just being the clinician, but being the educator and then started speaking and seeing it is such a wild west of education and such a wide range of specialty and knowledge base that hygienists have out there. Because there are hygienists that have not advanced their career outside of the day they graduated because it's just a way to get a paycheck. And then there's hygienists like you guys that are doing above and beyond, going extra, that have done, myofunctional therapy, that are doing airway, that are just looking at that next level. And it's so fascinating to see. All that to say, fast forward, Heather and I connected, and that's when I really was wanting to focus and hone in more on the biological hygiene, alternative, functional space, whatever that ball of not traditional dentistry looked like. And so we call it Functional Roots. And the guests that we have on there, it truly feels like every episode is a continuing education opportunity, but getting guests onto your podcast that are absolutely passionate about their field, and how they impact patients' lives, and the expertise that they have is just an incredible experience. All that to say, what drove me to get my MBA? As you guys know, along the way, there's just so much clinical, but it feels like there's just knowledge of business that you don't understand and you don't know, especially if you're working with companies and brands. And I just always felt like, yes, there's plenty of courses that you can take here and there, but it just feels like you're getting bits and pieces of knowledge. And I just wanted a good overall picture of what business is and how we can maybe marry all of those things together. So every high school senior or college student that I have in my chair, I will always tell them, I don't care what you're majoring in, minor in business. That is like my one regret from all of my prereq work is, why didn't I take some business classes? Nobody was there to tell me that. I was the first one in my family to graduate from college. So I didn't necessarily have that guidance of what is business. So earlier this year, a patient called me out on it and was like, so why don't you go to school for business? And I was like, it's not like I haven't thought about it, but...
Right. Yeah, you just need the push, because we have that reason. Like, it's all this in your mind. It's amazing. Tasia and I talk about that all the time, that there's something that holds you back that you don't even know what it is. Some invisible rope that we've told ourselves some story. We're too old. We're too busy. It's too late. I'm a hygienist. Like, what, even starting the podcast, it was like, we're hygienists. What are you talking about? Like, what is this? So,
and it's still the imposter syndrome. And part of it's like trauma responses from a kid. Were you told? Like, what holds you back? You know, even for me now, like, I don't feel like, I tell her, and I'm like, I don't feel like I'm a good speaker.
Listen, as she speaks. So, well, that's I'm proud of you for pulling the trigger. It's really, it's exciting, because you're going to be done. Now, what do you envision, from free scrubs to master's degree? Like, do you have an end game vision that feels very authentic to Amanda Hale?
So it's just so happened I've had like 3 meetings with my MBA program directors today. So it's like fresh in my mind.
Good timing.
Because they were kind of asking the same thing. I'm like, like a month ago, I kind of had a crisis of, do I want to use this program as an opportunity to utilize it to continue to grow my brand of a provider? Or do I want to gain all of my knowledge and everything I'm going to learn from this to work for a company? And so that kind of crisis of, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm going to spend a lot of money and time doing this. And I basically just had to come to a point where I was like, it's okay to not know. I'm not going to be dumber at the end of this. I'm going to have more opportunity. Utah specifically, we are the Silicon Slopes. So I'm sure you've heard of Silicon Valley, but a lot of those companies are moving out west. Well, east, I guess, because, we're east of California. So they're moving here to Lehigh. And Utah is also a wellness destination. We are referred to as a geo hub. So I think there's a lot of opportunity, and I specifically want the network. So there is a lot of dental tech here. We've got Weave, we've got Denti AI, we have Overjet, we have Pearl, we have more. I mean, Adobe is here. There's Google here. Gosh, there's just so many. But then we also have like Young Living and doTERRA and what is the other one? Just Ingredients. So there's just so much. There's definitely an entrepreneurial spirit in Utah specifically. So I did specifically choose the University of Utah for the network. It's certainly not the cheapest way to go, but they do a lot of networking events, and that is really what I'm looking for.
Awesome. So, you had a plan, that's for sure. You're in the right area.
I think I did. I had intention. I don't know if I have a plan, but I have intention.
Sometimes
that's probably better
time for the plan to, you could be halfway through and it could completely switch and you're going to go a completely different path and it's going to be great regardless. Well, but I didn't realize that there was so much opportunity in Utah, but I guess
it's
really good.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I uploaded my resume to Overjet just to be in their talent pool, and I had never heard GeoHub before, but they were like, "Which GeoHub would you like to be in?" So, yeah, I was like, "Salt Lake. I will be in the Salt Lake GeoHub."
Yeah, like, thank you. It has to be because I mean, the whole story of Utah and, the Mormons and their industriousness, and it always seems like that's been the ethos of that state is to be, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and be entrepreneurial. And all of the people who we listen to, like I just watched something on the guy from Tooth Pillow, and he's also from Utah.
Oh,
and
nice.
and listening to them talk about kind of their upbringing and like, yeah, this is an industrious group, all of us here. And, that's wonderful to be in that scenario. So you're definitely going to be great no matter which direction. And apparently you have 17 to choose from. So that's really wonderful because nobody wants to be limited ever. And
Yeah.
I mean, to your point, I think hygienists, this is what Tasia and I keep trying to really drive home is that we don't have to just be scrape and polish, hygienists who only do what they learned in school. And each one of the people who we bring on here, we want somebody to be doing a different job, a different something that could spark, just like you heard. It's like, we just need a spark to go, oh, dang, that is interesting. That's how I got into sleep apnea and airway.
I don't think any of us started out of school knowing what we were doing.
No.
No.
I didn't know which path I was going to go. You're just cleaning teeth. Like, it
Yeah.
almost takes something. And for me, it was like my healing journey to figure out, like, okay, biological dentistry, like more holistic. There is more. And I think COVID created that shift too. People, I think, started realizing the oral systemic connection more, connecting the dots together. People were more concerned about inflammation, their fatigue. Like, there was a lot of other things going on, and conventional medicine, I'm sorry, sometimes does not cover those areas
100%.
very well. So
100%.
and that to me just opened up a whole new world. And it's like, we just have to kind of push through because there is a lot of pushback.
Yeah.
I know from my depending on providers you work for. So it's just
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Both of you, what do you think has been the most unexpected door that opened? Like along all of our journeys, that's an interesting thought. Like, what surprised you?
Surprised or
Or like as you were going along, like you think about how innocent it was to start by trying to get free scrubs, right? And then where it took you, and then who you met, and then where your school program was, and then just even the networking that you've done. I don't know I don't know. Where do we go?
For me, it was moving out of my comfort zone, I guess. There was the mind shift, but literally moving to Utah. I had no intention up here. My husband and I had an illegal COVID wedding. Cops showed up to our wedding. I kid you not.
Whoa.
Yeah, we were on
naughty.
the stage taking pictures, I know, without masks, because we were taking pictures. And the police showed up, which they were like, we don't want to be here. Somebody called you in. So we had to like let you know the state police are on their way. And we're like, cool. So anyway, so I moved to a new place, and honestly, I have never regretted moving, and it has just opened up opportunity. But it really was, I started investing in things. How I even learned about content creation, 6 years ago, I was at a Pinners conference, which is Pinterest. This is a Utah thing, but they have other ones that they do now. But it is Pinterest come to life in a conference form. And that is in the form of classes as well as like the most amazing shopping experience ever. But you have hands-on crafts that you can do. Like you can learn to do sourdough. You can like make a wreath. You can make a candle, and then you can learn how to become a content creator.
That's so
wow.
All in one. It's so fun. So
I wish they had that here. I'm a hands-on person. I wish they had more stuff like that because,
I think they have one in Indiana. Might be the closest to you, or Missouri.
Yay. I'll travel somewhere warm.
That's pretty neat to be able
To
to.
the one in Utah. It's
I'll
the
come
best
to-
one.
Yeah.
It's the Pinterest version of RDH under one roof where we can learn everything.
It literally, like anything you want, it's so fun. I feel like I should be their ambassador because it's such a core part of my story. Like, had I not sat through City Girl Meets Farm Boys lecture, I would have.
That's funny.
I don't know if I would have been here because that is literally where the curvy scaler was born. I was sitting there and I was like, I will be the curvy scaler because I was heavier at the time. I've lost 80 pounds as part of my health journey.
Good job.
And so it was like, I want to see more plus size ladies and see what kind of scrub options there are out there for us. And that's really what kind of started it. And then part of my health journey with functional medicine and, like you said, COVID, like so much of it really brought a lot of things to attention. So anyway, surprising is, I think, how far you can go with just spending some money, but investing in yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what
really
the
did.
conference is. And not being afraid to learn. And I think that you opened up so many doors by opening a door that you didn't expect to open.
Exactly.
Now, tell the world about your health journey. Like, did that take you into biological dentistry or?
I don't remember. This is like the chicken and the egg sort of thing. I think health journey slightly started first of, hey, there's toxins out there. I can't tell you how much Prevident and ClinPro I have taken in my lifetime. How many tubes of those products I have gone through. And I would say probably 5 years ago, I threw away my last bottle of it because I was like, I don't know a lot about what fluoride is doing to my whole body. I've heard some stuff here and there. I don't know. But if you look at any of my x-rays, I have good hygiene, but man, I've got fillings on every freaking tooth back there.
Mm-hmm.
Every posterior tooth has a filling.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't like queen of hydroxyapatite just yet. I don't know that it was making like a full social media presence, but that was one of the first things. And then it was, getting rid of plastics. Gosh, what did we do in our house? We stopped burning normal candles.
Mm-hmm.
I've always loved drinking from mason jars, but we just fully leaned into it. I think we my husband and I still really romanticize having a homestead. So I got into gardening, so doing as much like non-toxic, eating organic food, anything EWG. We got a reverse osmosis system in the house. So there was a lot of that side of things. And then it was like kind of the aha of, okay, if I'm trying to do this stuff as a patient, what should I be doing as a provider to do things differently? And that was kind of coinciding with the Guru Nanda oil pulling and learning what oil pulling does, because there's a lot of, I've always loved coconut oil. I've used it as moisturizer my whole life, but I didn't understand that it has a pH of 8. It's naturally effective at killing Streptococcus mutans, Lactobacilli, the entire Candida family. It has a natural effect at killing or counteracting the reactive oxidative species that are produced by bacteria. So just that it has so many great values. Lauren, it has great opportunity to help strengthen the muscles of mastication that we're trying to strengthen, because we have such weakened jaws with our modern diet of crap processed foods. So I would say my journey started first, and then it came to, okay, I need to be doing things different because I'm not the only one going through this health journey. So I did join the IAOMT, and gosh, started learning from like Barbara Tritz and Fran, and I got to meet Heather, and just learn from a lot of other hygienists, and just kind of have just shared my journey along the way. I don't think I've like fully leaned into, hey guys, this was my functional health journey of losing 80 pounds. But just changing how both my husband and I are eating. I've lost 80 pounds, but he's lost 140 pounds.
Wow.
Freaking testosterone.
Yeah, right?
So,
and was it just food
diet
changes? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm so bad. If I can If I hit 5,000 steps a day, I'm doing great. But I don't go over that. Yeah.
I stopped wearing my watch because I don't even want it to tell me.
They become a problem.
It's
Yeah.
well,
You get
in
obsessed
New
with
York,
them.
it was easy because you're walking
Oh,
so much.
yeah.
Here, I'm like, where am I going?
Yeah.
What
I think that's a problem. Like on an average day, my steps from my op to the front desk, I would get maybe 2,000 steps. And I'm like, "Pfft, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
I'm
want
never,
to
that's my
reach it out.
average.
Yeah.
So
But
just
they say
based
that
on
health-
diet. So this is
Yeah.
just solely food choices.
So I did do a program through a functional medicine provider. So it was an elimination diet because there are 3 different types of food allergies. So you have sensitivities, you have intolerances, and then you have true allergies. And all 3 of those, if you're eating foods that are chronically causing inflammation, well, you're going to have inflammatory response. So we did go through a very long period of like subtle elimination, and then just a period of healing, just incredibly bland diet. But it was also detoxing the liver, because everything gets processed through the liver and the kidneys, and we just don't realize even things that we put on our skin has to get processed through our kidneys and our liver. So allowing our body to just heal and deal with some of those toxins and get a reset. So yeah, it's cutting out the grains, it's cutting out the processed food for sure, sugar, just the things that we know are bad for us, and really kind of finding the foods that are better for you. Since doing that program, it's been, oh my gosh, it'll be 3 years this October that I started that program. Doing like a continuous glucose monitor. Have you guys ever done one?
No, but I want to.
I want to.
It's so empowering.
Yeah.
Coconut water sends me through the roof.
Really?
Yeah, so my husband and I did it at the same time because we were so like, I got him one for Christmas and then I had instant FOMO. So I also got one for Christmas.
That's how I feel about the Aura Ring.
Yeah. So it's so good. So you you can take a picture of your food and you get like the 2-hour snapshot of what is your blood sugar doing. So coconut water had like no effect on him. I was so upset. I was like, I like coconut water. But so I was like, you know what? I'm going to eat whatever during the first 2 weeks. And we were on our way back from Phoenix and I was like, okay, there's a place called the Creamery here in Utah. And it's like local grass-fed cow, like ice cream. It's like the best ice cream ever. So I was like, oh, we're stopping and getting ice cream. And I got like 2 big scoops of ice cream. Not a blip. No spike whatsoever. Wow. Enough fat and protein. So I'm like, I'm German. I was meant to eat this. I was meant to eat all the dairy products. So, but bread, absolutely not. It will spike for a high and long period of time. So I am more prone to the insulin resistance. So I really do have to watch the bread. But that ice cream, totally fine.
Interesting.
Now you're going to make
Good
me go
ice
buy
cream.
one because my gut health is like a disaster. I'm like a ball of inflammation.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting to see.
Yeah. So
But
that's
I
a lot.
Did you do anything with like the blood type diet or the LEAP or the MRT test where you test your inflammatory markers also?
She did a ton of, if you do anything functional medicine, like, you pay for it, it's like $5,000, like just get in the door. And so you get a very significant, 4 or 5 vials of blood.
That's going to be me tomorrow morning.
Yay!
I might get 13. We're not sure. 13.
Wow. Yeah. So she definitely tested, obviously the metabolic panel, but inflammatory markers for sure, which mine were really high, which made sense with my life before Utah. And so we did a pre and a post, and it was only a 6-month program, but there were markedly improvements in my blood work. A big one, I had SIBO, so the small intestinal bacteria overgrowth. So I got to do a fun SIBO test. That was miserable.
Tell us about that.
It's nothing. It's more just you're so hungry. It felt like forever. I think, I don't remember if it was 36 hours of a fast. It felt like 36 hours in my mind.
Geez.
And then you took it was like a sugar water, and you drank it at certain intervals, and then you blew into a tube and put the tube away. And it was testing how much of that bacteria was coming alive as you were eating that, consuming that sugar.
I actually got that test, Lauren, but I never did it in Vegas because then I had so much going on.
Yeah. Now you will be reignited to do it. See, in the name of Amanda.
It was telling. So that was my health journey. I did that before my husband, and let me tell you his story because his is more fascinating. So he was resistant, right? Like, who wouldn't be to like, why are we doing something that insurance doesn't cover for $5,000? And I was like, I understand, but I think this is really important. So supportive but reluctant. So he supported me for, how much time had passed? I want to say it was 2 years. It was Christmas, not last year, but the year before. So Christmas of 2024. Right before Christmas, thought he was having heart attacks. Yes. And he did not tell me about it because he was like, I think I'll just die without telling you. I was like, good call. Thank you. On the other side of it. Such a man, right?
Yeah.
So he finally didn't die. So he told me, he's like, I have an appointment with the cardiologist. I don't think I'm okay. And so I was like, okay. So he's like, but if you want to come to the appointment with me, you can. So obviously I went. So they put a heart monitor on him, and they were like, oh, you are having premature ventricular contractions. Everybody has them. They're fine. It's just basically when your valves don't flap when they're supposed to when you're pumping. So you get backflow, and it makes you feel like you're fluttering. So they were basically telling him, like, yeah, everybody gets them, but it's fine. And he's like, I don't feel fine. This isn't fine. Like, I feel like food is sitting here. So he basically did a crazy rabbit trail on YouTube and found a functional health provider in Florida that pretty much was able to explain what he was feeling. And what that was with the PVCs, the premature ventricular contractions, he had a hiatal hernia in his stomach that was allowing food to get caught. And so food was just getting trapped in his esophagus, and it was putting pressure on his heart, making those PVCs more intense. And if you go down traditional route, it's going to be surgery. And he was a big guy. And so he was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. So the provider that he found in Florida, functional medicine, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do an elimination diet. So I was like, I got this. I know what we're doing. But it was even more intense because with a PVC, or excuse me, not the PVC, with the hiatal hernia, there's a sphincter there that can be dilated consistently with garlic, onions, citrus, and mint. So all of the good things. And I had just grown so many onions that year. I was so mad. So I had to like give my onion harvest away because it was not going to go well. So literally he lost 100 pounds in like 6 months just changing his diet. Wow. I will say he was also one of the most compliant, stubborn, in a good way, compliant patients I have ever seen. He didn't do dairy for a year because he was very concerned about his gut health. But all that to say, he went through this health journey. Like, he got on board. He had tried to lose weight his entire life with eating, rice and chicken and all these things, and just never worked. But his markers and everything that he has done has drastically changed our lives. I will say our lives. Just because of the things that we're eating and the processed foods and the toxins that build up from everything that we consume.
You're really motivating me, Amanda.
It's amazing to watch. And I mean, you just, because you feel better.
Yeah.
And, it comes to even to like oral health and whatever. We see people who are just super resistant to feeling better. And I'm like, why do we do these things? Why do you keep sticking your hand on the stove when you know it's going to hurt? Like, and if you knew you could feel better, wouldn't you want to do those things? Do we really care about dairy? Do we really care about you can never eat yogurt again if you knew you would feel better? I mean, imagine the life you both have put back into and on your lifespan.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Lifespan and health span, right? Like that was one of the things that I'm sure we've talked about is people are living longer, but are they living those last 20 years in any significant way? Are you just going doctor's appointment to doctor's appointment? Because that's what it seems like people are doing. And I think that's the big thing with functional medicine is it's not about increasing your lifespan, but increasing that health span. Those years of wanting to be independent. Because I don't know what your parents' situation is, but both my husband and I look at our parents and we're like, I don't want to be like our parents. I don't want to be uncontrolled diabetes. Like my dad doesn't fit the picture. He is tall, skinny, uncontrolled diabetes, sleep apnea, high blood pressure. Now he has IBS because he has drank so much Mountain Dew over his lifetime that he has wrecked his gut. My mom, God bless her, she is morbidly obese and now she has the worst knees on the planet. So her mobility is non-existent. And it's just like, man, I don't want either of those. Like you're just dependent on
Other
medication.
people caring for you and care. Yeah. And I tell
just
my
the
patients
doctors.
this all the time because, a lot of them, I'll tell them do this, 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 and this. And they're like, well, we're all going to die. And I'm like, we are all going to die.
Yeah.
But what kind of quality of life do you want? I'm like, I don't want to be 80 and like having people take care of me. I want to be able to go for a walk, tie my shoe, put my coat on, because if not, then ship me to Switzerland,
Yeah. Like what is the point? Like, I mean, I lost my grandma a few years ago from Alzheimer's, and her last 3 years of life living in an assisted living memory care facility, like she was a medicated vegetable. And
But she was alive.
Horrible. She was alive.
Yep.
But like she was a shell of herself, and it was horrible to watch.
Yep.
Horrible to watch.
That's the motivation for myself. Like when I went to see, and I have the functional medicine doctor in common. And when I went to her, I was like, listen, I'm 45. I want to go into the second half of my life better than the first. I want the information and I want to be better because I feel like the biological dental world led me into a better functional medicine world. And that's really now getting into wellness coaching and everything else just to be able to help people. My whole ethos is helping people help themselves, but I have to help myself first, right? Yeah. And so these kind of conversations and journeys. Yeah. I mean, we've already said this to how many patients, like when people look at us and we take our mask down and they go, oh my God, your teeth are so beautiful. And you're like, of course they are. I'm a hygienist. So I feel this responsibility as a functional, biological, holistic human who's trying to preach people be better in every way you can to really be responsible for that. And I look at things and I'm like, is this worth it? I don't know. Sometimes it is.
Dinner, I don't even order what I want anymore. Like what I normally would have eaten in the
would
past,
have wanted.
I don't. I'm like, well, no, we're just going to eat the chicken and vegetables.
But I love that what you want changes. I'm a type O, and I really believe in the eating for your blood type and doing all that. I am a carnivore. My favorite, I am not afraid to admit it, I love the Outback. I will eat a steak and a double broccoli all day long, and I am happy. That is my happy, happy place. I will tear up a side of beef, and I'm okay. And I grew up vegetarian, and I was always icky. And so I never felt good. And then once I got into doing these blood tests and really understanding what my body needed and paying attention to what I needed, because you're a perfect example of why did the coconut water bother you but not him? And I remember that in my own life, and it'd be like, well, why are you allowed to eat that and I'm not? Same thing, plus our hormones, plus everything else.
Yes.
And then, I mean, just today I was having a conversation about perimenopause and MTHFR, and why now in your early 50s is this woman having sleep apnea, symptoms. And I'm like, well, this is what Western medicine has failed you about. So, I mean, and I think this is what's interesting with about maybe a good lead in into what you think biological dentistry actually is and what we're supposed to be kind of doing with it. Because I know in my life, all my friends are like, what do you do? Just dance around and throw feathers on people and like chant and stuff. And that's how you fix fillings. I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm like, no, we don't. I just say we don't sing.
Aura cleansing,
Yeah.
Cleanse
Your
the
auras
aura
need to be cleansed, Tasia. They are
before
nasty.
any x-rays, because that's going to eliminate all the bad things. We're just going to, crystals, light some sage.
Yeah. Hey, it works. Don't knock it till you sage it, bro. Don't.
I have sage.
Our last podcast episode, it pushed me a little bit. It was tuning forks.
I was listening to that today.
So good.
Mind-blowing, guys.
It's amazing.
So
frequency is not to be overlooked.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Frequency. It sounds so woo-woo, but it's like we are water, and water is molecules, and everything has a charge. So duh.
That's where nothing but energy. And as soon as you start
beings.
watching the doctors who are doing experiments with water and sand and plants. And I learned about this because my friend Amanda, when she was, trying to get this frequency elimination for her tumors. And I was just like, what do you mean? I'm thinking this is some ray gun 007 sort of stuff. And then you go down these woo-woo rabbit holes. I actually have a Hertz frequency machine that I listen to, and I can tune it in according to whatever I want to work on. And, it's really very interesting. You hear about it. Of course, I think it's a joke in the people who aren't hygienists. I had somebody today go, what? I suppose you have a patient who did that? And I was like, yes. I'm like, I've been a hygienist for 20 years. I know I see 8 to 10 people a day. Like, I've seen everything from garbage men to senators. Like, you meet people. Yeah. And I had this wonderful patient who had their dog had stage 4 kidney cancer. And they took the dog to the vet every quarter. And every time the vet was like, I don't know why this dog is still alive. They were using frequency. Wow. And I mean, if you find the right thing, it's food, right? I mean, it's energy food. And as soon as you realize we're carbon and we're water, what else is there? There's nothing. So,
True.
So yes.
I think the segue there that you were getting at is, I think traditional medicine and traditional dentistry has kind of taught dependence, right? It's dependence on either medication for a condition. Yes. And maybe dependency on fluoride for prevention.
Yeah.
Which I will still stand on the pillar of, I don't think fluoride or hydroxyapatite varnish is truly preventative. It's still reactionary.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're still trying to prevent demineralization.
Yeah.
Whereas I think biological dentistry and functional medicine and holistic medicine, and however you want to kind of put all of those terms together, it really is looking more at the whole body system, because if you have dysfunction here, there's going to be dysfunction elsewhere. Yeah. Lainey Macbeth just released her book. Have you guys seen this one? Tongue mapping?
Yet. No.
So she just did, it's on Amazon. But she just did a CE with Elevate Oral Care. And it's looking at Chinese medicine and what...
I missed the class yesterday. I have the email. I'm going to watch it.
Do it.
Because I was like, I know I signed up for something. But what was it?
So I wanted more out of it, but I know she only had an hour. So she couldn't go into like super deep, but it still very much was like, okay, just in your tongue alone, the things that you can see, right? But we're learning more like dry mouth, menopausal. I just turned 42 yesterday, so I'm noticing more and more dry mouth. Even though, thank you. Even though I'm breathing through my nose, I'm getting dry back there, and it's annoying. But anyway, biological dentistry is looking at, hey, the things that we're doing here are having an impact. And not just what you put in your mouth, right? Because we know the foods that we eat, the supplements we take are the future building blocks of ourselves. And I think that's a huge paradigm shift that people don't have, because we have that hedonistic eating, right? We were talking about, like, I don't order what I like to. I order what I know my body needs. We have got to have that kind of a mindset instead of like, oh, I want to eat for pleasure.
Yeah.
Because that's the easy thing to do, right? I want the sweets all the time. I want ice cream, but that's
It
not...
took me 40-something years to get there. But
exactly.
I would always push those limits. Oh, it'll be fine. But after what
I'll
I
deal
went
with
through,
it when I'm older.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My
well,
gut
we're
was
older
not-
now.
Yeah.
So...
I like I like that quote of thinking about how what we eat is the future of our building blocks of our cells. That's important, because I think this is what people don't understand, that everything is connected. And I feel sad for the people who think, okay, well, I'm just going to throw fluoride at it. I'm like, listen, what you do and what I do 2, 3, 4 times a year is a lot less important than what you do every single day, and is even more less important than when your teeth are clean for 4 minutes a day. And it's like, what are you eating? What's in your nose? Like, what's happening to your microbiome? And even just the moment that people say, and I'm like, listen, this is your upper airway, this is your lower airway, and it's the beginning of everything else. And they go, oh yeah. But that's the most biological reason for the biological dentistry, is it's basically holistic. We're a specialist, but we treat people as if they are one whole being.
We recognize that there's a body attached to that mouth.
Correct.
But I think that's where traditional dentistry is failing too, because they say, cavities are more chronic disease in the U.S. than cardiovascular disease, but we've been treating it the same for decades. Why is that? You're filling the cavity, but you're not asking what is causing this decay.
Correct.
Because now you're doing the filling, but they're still going to have recurrent decay. But you're not diving deep into like diet, airway. A lot of doctors don't ask that. So
now, do you think that's insurance? Do you think that's driven by a paradigm? Do you think that's timing? Do you think that's burnout? Like, there has to be something behind why there's people like us and the system doesn't change. Because I know
insurance plays a big part. I think maybe a lot of people come out of school and they just get stuck in their, because sometimes hygienists, I feel like if you're working in the same practice for 30 years and if your doctor's not advancing anything, you're kind of stuck in that. So you're not. Or I tell them, like the one hygienist I work with, she's like, I don't know how you know all this. I'm like, I take courses, I go to conferences, I connect with people. Like, I'm passionate about healthy patients, let me help them. But I think some of us just get stuck. It could be, I think it's a combination of everything, but I think some people just don't want to do more. They're doing single tooth dentistry.
Yeah.
That's what makes the money, right? So the prevention doesn't make money. So that's the problem.
That is a huge problem. We had a podcast episode with some girls over in Colorado Springs, the Mouth Lab, and they were doing kind of like a lunch and learn. They specialize in doing microbiome testing and really more on the functional side. And they told us that one of the dentists said, yeah, but if my patients don't get cavities, how am I supposed to make money? So kind of said the quiet part out loud for some people. And that comes down to a lot of issues of why is dentistry allowed to be overseeing dental hygiene if the failure of dental hygiene is predicated, or if I should say the success of dentistry is predicated on the failure of dental hygiene. Why are they allowed to oversee us?
Boom.
That's sketchy right there, right? So
that's a genuinely good question. And then this, just like what's happening in Nevada with the OPAs and it's the dental board that gets to decide what we're going to do and then what the assistants do. So is that the subversive subtext, the sneaky, sketchy part of creating more work for themselves is really, I was just at our dental hygiene meeting last night because we met with the board about what's happening in Nevada right now, and dental hygiene being, it feels like it's being eliminated, but it's being replaced by tooth scrapers who aren't looking at everything holistically. And I'm like, I can't teach somebody on the job what took us 4 years and 20 years of experience to gain.
Oh,
And I feel that the insurance companies are the ones that are truly driving what is no longer preventative dentistry. We're as reactionary as as medicine is. Like now we're supposed to, it's like an illness. You're just supposed to throw a pill at it, right? Well, now we just throw a toothpaste. We just throw a rinse. We just throw, no, I don't want to. Why are we dependent on things? That's what I feel hamstrung about. We're dependent upon insurance covering it. We're dependent upon me fixing you. It's just this rollover of fast food, gimme, take a pill for it, deal with it later, kick the can down the road. And that's what we don't want.
And I feel because it's not part of medical.
Yeah.
We're not part of medical. We're like a separate entity. So it's almost like it's a business, right? So they treat it as such.
Yeah. Well,
produce.
And I think
let's produce.
Yeah.
3 times your hourly pay. I'm like, what? $40 profis? Like, what would you like me to do?
Yeah. And who decided that? Just today, I had somebody tell me that my non-surgical periodontal treatment on him was too expensive. And I looked this man, today was not the day. And I looked this man in the eye and I said, have you ever questioned how much an MRI cost or how much your surgery cost? Have you ever walked into your dentist and said, you know what, or not your dentist, but your doctor, your provider, and said, why is that so expensive? No, you just accept it because that's what's happened in medicine. Medicine has been allowed to make themselves more expensive. And yet we're stuck. And so we're the ones that are getting blamed for making too much money, but we're the ones that are having all these hats on. You know, a previous episode, everything we do within that 45 to 55 minutes that we're allowed, because then we still have to flip a room, do notes, walk the person up, make the appointments, do all the thing. Like, how are we supposed to be effective in an hour or less when we're literally looking at the entire unit?
Yeah. It is very much like you were kind of saying, it's patients. I think consumers derive demand, right? Mm-hmm. And until there is a paradigm shift for our patients that they want something different, there's not going to be a change in dentistry.
Don't even know there is different.
And that is why, that is the only thing, like with biological medicine and functional health, if you go to those things, people know you pay out of the nose. It's so expensive, but you're getting care and you know it's something different.
Yeah.
And that's when you're seeing a provider that is looking at you different and having conversations that are different than what you've had before, not just saying, oh, brush and floss, brush and floss. Yeah. It's frustrating. Don't get me wrong, because I mean, I work for a DSO. I have patients that are pretty stinking crunchy. And then I have patients that, you know, I try to have a conversation of your mouth is connected to your gut. And they're just like, what? So it's hard. It's taxing on hygienists to do this much education. And I do double hygiene. So I'll see sometimes 10 to 16 patients a day.
Wow.
I'll say, you know, my Monday motivation versus my Wednesday at 4 o'clock motivation is different.
I bet it is.
Depends. And some days are amazing and I have amazing conversations. And, you know, you're on that high of like, I've made a change. And then there's times where it's like, that patient used Colgate everywhere. Yeah. Like, everywhere. There's blue mouthwash stains everywhere.
Or their A1C is 9, but they were told they were pre-diabetic.
Yeah, or their doctor was happy with that number.
Yeah. Or they have no idea what an A1C is. I'm like, I had this conversation today I'm like, you need to know your numbers. Yeah. My glucose was 150. I'm like, that is high.
And that comes back to that empowerment, right? Yeah. Like patients are like, I don't know. This is just what my doctor said. Like they don't understand what impact is having on their life and what that's going to mean for them 20 years down the road when they have a sore on their foot that doesn't heal.
Yeah.
And eventually might lead to amputation. Like, it's a deal.
But like you said, I get so excited when patients actually are listening and they care. And they're like, oh my God, no one ever told me this is amazing. And then you have the ones where you're telling them everything. And they're looking at you like, oh, thank you for the information. I would like to see the other hygienist next time.
Be like, cool, good, go.
Okay, please
good.
Go.
I don't want to waste my time.
Because it is exhausting because my doctor doesn't support everything I do, so I feel like I'm doing so much educating at every appointment. Like it is
Mm-hmm.
exhausting. And
Mm-hmm.
because some people don't care, and then I just have to kind of like, I sometimes take it home because I get so frustrated because I want to help them, but I'm like, I have to be like, okay, if they don't want it, I can't force them. So
Yep.
I have to
Yeah.
All
like,
you can do is educate. I
yeah,
really believe in our whole drip theory. So, but I don't know.
yeah,
We could literally talk about
for
this for
hours.
weeks. So,
What would
Miss
you
Amanda
say?
Hale, yeah, what do you say?
What
What's
would you say to hygienists right now who are maybe feeling like they don't have an outlet or anything else that they could do, move forward, do more? Like, what would advice would you give them? Because you've done so much, right? So, and
mm-hmm.
you are doing
Yeah.
so much continuing.
I
So,
think it's about finding your tribe. Finding those
Mm-hmm.
people that are like-minded, because not every hygienist, like you say, Anastasia, it's not every coworker that you work with has your same passion.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't find those people that have that same passion, you will burn out so fast.
Yeah.
If you're not finding, I don't want to say new things, but finding the research that helps to connect that oral systemic, that is going to help to kind of keep you motivated clinically, you will burn out because it's
Mm-hmm.
so much repetition in what we do, right? If we're only going in and, oh, I scaled today, oh, I saw a big chunk of calculus, like that's not enough for me to like
Correct.
be motivated, right? Like I love, don't get me wrong, I love a good calculus bridge, but like that's not what gets me up in the morning.
No.
It is the excitement of, okay, what is Anne Rice gonna like put out there today? What new oral systemic things can I talk about? Like
Mm-hmm.
my new thing, I have a prism scanner. It scans your antioxidant levels. And we know antioxidants are what stops us from aging, right? And so, how does that affect our periodontal disease that we're dealing with all the time? You scan this, it lets your patient know, like, hey, where are you at on this scale? It starts a conversation. Like you can talk about supplementation, you can talk about diet, you can talk about lifestyle. So finding things, there's so much out there, but if you're only in your own little bubble, not exploring what opportunities and what other things outside of, you know, the ADHA or the UDA, not UDHA, just the standard ones, if you're not
Mm-hmm.
finding your passion, you will burn out. Because yeah, I've worked with plenty of offices where this was just a paycheck. There was
Yeah.
no passion. I didn't love it. And I honestly, I'll go back and say, when I worked in New Mexico, I don't think I lasted more than 3 years at any job, because I was pretty done every time.
yeah.
And that was primarily working part-time at multiple offices. It was just like,
Yeah.
okay, I've ran my course here. I've learned what I can. Move
Yep,
on.
exactly. That's what makes me sad when you read our like Facebook groups and everyone. I feel there's much more negativity towards being a hygienist than there is the positive aspect, and that's really a motivation. I love being a hygienist. I chose to be a hygienist. I did not want to be a dentist. I didn't want to fix people.
Yeah.
I wanted to help people help themselves. And if people can walk away hearing what you say about being this burnout is real, people. If you do not try to learn more than all you had to do to pass the boards, you will become a profi mill and you will be bored and burnt out. And
Yeah.
so
And
even
have
if it's
bad
not
posture along the way.
Oh.
correct, I mean, go ahead.
No, I feel like even like when you learn more, because sometimes I'll have
Hmm.
moments because I don't have much support. So you learn more, you want to do more, but sometimes you can't do more. But I just
Yeah.
tell myself I can do more because I'm the one with the patient, and it
Yep.
doesn't matter what anyone says. I'm going to help them help
Yep.
themselves and give them the
Exactly.
information. And you know what? You might not help them, they might tell someone else, and
Yep.
you might, we're saving lives at the end of the day.
That's it.
So, and that's the most important thing. So, or educating people to ask more
Amen.
questions.
That's what I hope this podcast episode is going to do, is going to help people feel motivated to do something, because of course we as hygienists in most states are limited by our providers and by the office we are in, but they can't stop us from educating the patient and helping them help themselves. And I think that's probably, and also, I mean, this is an outlet. hey, hygienists out there who have something to say, start a podcast. Yeah. And then reach more people and get this out there and write a blog, contribute, volunteer, get into your neighborhood. And it doesn't have to be biological dentistry. If you don't want to, believe in auras and crystals and frequency, well, then fine. Go support Prevident if you believe in fluoride, but do something that brings you passion again and really makes you feel that you are helping each person be a better person. That's what's going to keep you from burning out, people.
Yeah.
That's it.
And even not being afraid, like I didn't know what that passion was.
Yeah.
Not being afraid to move forward, you'll find it. You'll find it along the way. And if you're not going to conferences and talking and putting yourself out there because you're afraid to fail or afraid to be awkward or, travel somewhere on your own, then you're not going to grow. And growth comes outside of that comfort zone. And it comes with friends along the way that are also kind of afraid and in that same space. So you get to make friends along the way.
That's true. I have been surprised at the people who I have held on this pedestal of amazingness. When you have these intimate conversations, how they have the same fears, the same, not FOMO, but the other one, imposter syndrome, and all of that. And it's amazing. And I'm like, you feel this way? And that is actually really comforting to know that we are not alone in A, wanting to do more, in B, kind of feeling held back, but then C, feeling that it's really okay to be new at something and to be not good at it is okay. Because everyone who's an expert started with no knowledge.
Yep.
Just remember that. So
it's going to be cringe.
Same. Amanda, tell us how to find you. Yeah. What do you want people to know? Close us out.
Look for the most beautiful mountains. Just kidding. I am the Curvy Scaler on Instagram. You can find me there. Same, thecurvyscaler@gmail.com if you are not on social media, but Instagram is pretty much where I hang out. Mm-hmm. So, and I will be at Under One Roof, so please come see me. Yay. We will be recording some podcasts in the podcast lounge.
Who's we?
Me and Heather, my podcast
What's
co-host.
your podcast name?
Oh, Functional Roots Podcast is also, thank you for that, Lauren. Yeah. Yes, also Functional Roots Podcast we will be recording at Under One Roof.
Cool.
So, yeah, please like and share, subscribe, all of those things, because like you guys said, like, get the word out there. If we're not your passion, that's fine. But it's just continued learning and kind of pushing past what you know. Because there's so much more out there, right? There's so much more out there.
Yep. Keep looking till you find it, basically. Because there will be something. Yep. There's so much more than what we learned in school. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to find the wrong thing either. Because that's also valuable. Yeah. So there you go. Well,
this was so great.
This was great.
Amanda, you're like inspiring.
Yeah. Agreed.
You've done so much great stuff. And thank you so much for coming on and being our first guest.
Yay! Pleasure. You will always have a special place in our heart. Yay.
If ever you want to come back, you're always welcome.
We can.
Absolutely. I know I want to do an entire episode on coconut oil pulling because as a functional biological hygienist, I talk about that every day. And I want to talk about the good, bad, and the ugly because sometimes I don't know what to tell people, and I'm going to need me some Amanda Hale in the future.
There we go.
All right. This has been fun.
Yes,
thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys.
This has been the Unhinged Hygienists.